We all have heard of the show South Park at least once, right? But did you know that their first episode was created using paper and stop motion? Trey Parker and Matt Stone are the creators of South Park. Trey was born on October 19th, 1969 in Conifer, Colorado. Matt was born on May 26, 1971 in Houston, Texas. Trey created and released a comedy musical album, Immature, a collection of love ballads for the 80s man, with his friend in high school. He went to Berklee College of Music, but later transferred to the University of Colorado in Boulder. Matt pursued a double major in art and math at the University of Colorado, and that's where he met his future bestie, Trey. In 1992, Trey and Matt created an animated short called The Spirit of Christmas, which inspired them to create the characters we now know today. They remade it back in 1995, which was one of the earliest viral videos out there. Comedy Central ended up picking up the show and airing 30-minute episodes based on the short in 1997. Since it aired on August 13th, 1997, the show was a hit from the first episode. Its use of absurd plot twists and casual profanity really made the show what it was. South Park always follows up on current events, using relevant people like Barbra Streisand, Britney Spears, and Kanye West. Some celebrities enjoyed having their character on the show, while some were offended by the way that they were portrayed. Each South Park episode takes about a week or maybe even earlier to create. They want to keep up with global news and new controversies. Stay relevant! South Park was the highest rated program on Comedy Central. The show's first Emmy Award was from the season 1 episode Big Gay Al's Big Gay Boat Ride. It ended up winning 5 more Emmys for Outstanding Program. The movie South Park Bigger, Longer, and Uncut received an Academy Award nomination for Best Song, Blame Canada. The 4 main characters in the show are obese and obnoxious Eric Cartman, poverty-struck Kenny McCormick, the Jewish redhead Kyle Broflovsky, and the anchor average kid Sam Marsh. Kyle and Sam were based off of Matt Stone and Trey Parker, being best friends on the show and in real life. One of the longest-running jokes in the show was that Kenny would die every episode, and Stan would call out, "Oh my gosh, they killed Kenny!" And then Kyle would reply with, "You bet!" or some variation of that. They permanently killed Kenny off in season 5, and he was replaced by Tweek, my favorite character, and then he was resurrected in the season finale. South Park is notorious for using profanity and offensive material. Let's take a look at what the most offensive episodes are according to the website Collider. This episode, everyone in the town is going crazy over some cop drama show saying the word uncensored. With it being so normalized, everyone in the town just started saying it. The 4 boys figured out that saying would lead to some pretty gruesome deaths. The Knights of Standard and Practice descend and awaken into South Park to destroy it. Because you know that's normal. After the episode finishes, the counter in the corner said that the word was said up to 162 times. Mr. Garrison tries to get fired by the principal for being too gay, so he could sue the school for millions. When that doesn't work, he shoves the class gerbil, Lemmingwinks, up his assistant, Mr. Slave's butt, in front of the entirety of the 4th grade classroom. After some kids complain about his actions, they were sent to the Museum of Tolerance. When that fails, they are sent to the Death Camp of Tolerance. The gerbil, Lemmingwinks, has been trying the entire episode to crawl out of Mr. Slave through his digestive system. It is considered one of the grossest episodes on South Park's still, with the descriptions of the gerbil and Mr. Slave and up at the butt, yeah. A new kid shows up to class, Gary Harrison. The boys don't like him too much, so Stan beats him up. But turns out he's a really nice guy. Gary invites Stan over for dinner, and he finds out that they are practicing Mormons. Stan goes to tell his dad Randy about what happened, and Randy goes over to beat up the Harrisons because they apparently were converting his son. He also comes to find that they are very, very nice. Trey and Matt actually animated the history of the religion, revealing of how absurd it is and how their followers are believing such nonsense. Even though that the Harrisons were portrayed as really nice, the LDS Church called the episode gross. When Stan was recruited into Scientology, he declared the second coming of L. Ron Hubbard. His followers, including Tom Cruise and John Travolta, came to South Park hoping that they would meet their leader. When Stan insults Tom Cruise for his acting, he locks himself inside Stan's closet. This turns into the public telling Tom Cruise to, come out of the closet. Meanwhile, R. Kelly is just singing songs. This episode made fun of Scientology, which made the voice actor for Chef, Eric Hayes, quit the show. This episode also made Tom Cruise threaten to boycott the promotion of this film if it didn't scrap the rerun. This one is so gross. I'm so sorry. Randy gets a DUI and has to go into an AA meeting. This is where he's told that alcoholism is a disease that he can't cure and he's powerless against. He ended up becoming wheelchair-bounded and more drunk than before. In a town called Bailey, the statue of the Virgin Mary started bleeding out of its butt. And so Randy and his son Stan went to go to see if that blood could cure his disease. The Pope in all his holiness came up to see if the miracle was true. And you know what? The ending, I'm not going to explain it. The ending is too gross. Anyways, I'm sure you can see why the episode is offensive. But the episode aired on the eve of the Feast of Immaculate Conception, a Catholic observe centered on the Virgin Mary, which is pretty ironic. I don't know if it was intended or not. South Park is definitely one of my favorite shows right now. The insane plot lines and crazy plot twists always make me come back to watch more of the show. Even though that some episodes are normally super offensive, they always have weirdly good morals at the end. It'll always start off with Stan or Kyle saying, "I've learned something today." And then it'll just give you some weirdly good moral. That's all from me. Bye!